I'm Val Rose, and I'm from The Gate. And about 8 years ago, we had a vision of walking beside some of the most vulnerable people in our community. If you don't know, we're from Alloa. Alloa is the county town of Clackmannanshire, which is the smallest county in Scotland, but it also has some of the worst statistics in terms of multiple deprivation in Scotland. It all began with our parish church, which is Ludgate Church, which had as its mission and at its heart being a church without walls. And it was from this beginning that our first act of kindness happened. 15 years ago, we had a homeless hostel that was right next door to the church. And we started by offering food at lunchtime to the men who were then put out of the hostel in the morning. And we had 3 things that we were focused on. One is feeding. Second is offering warm clothing. And the third is about having somewhere comfortable to stay. But this story is all about unintentional outcomes. Because what we started with was needs, but we ended up with transformation. This is the transformation of a church, an unintended, a church that was left over, which was not used. For 3 years, we persuaded the general trustees to lease it to a new charity, and that has become the centre for our community. We still have our 4 main projects that we work with. One is our soup pot, our community cafe, our starter packs, and a very large food bank. But as I said, what happened was that we found the transformations were beginning to take place, not only with the people who were involved in the projects, but also in the community around us. And one of these outcomes is about the community sharing and having compassion. And this is shown really clearly by our food bank. Over the past 5 years, we've seen an exponential rise, not only in the number of people that are accessing that service, but also in the number of meals that we're providing. But that exponential increase has been matched with the sharing and compassion within our own community. 80% of what we give out and what we provide is provided by the community. And that's been an incredible response. Another outcome has been about the building of relationships, whether it's the Gates response to Strictly Come Dancing, or whether it's our Wednesday afternoons get-togethers in the cafe, or whether it's our recovery cafe, or making bread with Theo in the kitchen, or our reading groups. All of this is about building relationships within the community. And this extends not only for the people who use the building, but also with the volunteers who help with what goes on there. And that transformation has happened with them as well. It's about building that community, and we call it now the gatekeepers, who are some of the people who make it all happen. About 70 are involved in that. Half of those who come from our own church, but the other half don't. The other outcome that I've kind of focused on is about finding partners. You could think of it as a new Tinder. It's about going out there and looking for others who have that same kind of mindset as you. One of the women in this photograph is now the leader of our local council. But it is about working together and looking at those kind of common themes that you can work at. Whether that's businesses, this is one of our bank employees who not only collects socks for the homeless, but is also working with us about developing budgeting skills for 16 to 18-year-olds. So what are we doing now? We're still looking for the gate. We're still looking at ways of engaging in our community. We're looking at ways of working with and not 4. Thank you.